Well, hey there, Glendive Alliance Church family. I would like to, in this video today, share some details with you about how we plan to transition back to gathering together for services beginning this Sunday, May 3rd. And we've done our best, we think, to develop a plan that takes into consideration a wide range of directives and recommendations from a wide range of authorities, local, state, and federal. Now, keep in mind that there is no set timeline for this phase. We know when it begins, we don't know when it's going to end. So with the exception of some minor adjustments along the way, this will be our temporary normal until we feel like we have the ability and the discretion to move on with less strict distancing guidelines. Before we get into the details, let me say this. We recognize that many of you believe that it is still too soon for us to get back together to any sort of large group setting. We understand this, and we want you to know that you are being invited to join us. But of course, as always, you have the choice to do what you decide is best for you and your family. You can decide when you want to join with us again. Now, when you are ready to do so, we will be just as glad to see you then as if you came back this weekend. For those of you not yet ready to join us for our Sunday gatherings, please know that we will still be continuing to make Sunday sermons and other content available online every week through YouTube and Facebook, and we want to encourage you to do your best to stay connected that way. So, on to the details now. Beginning this Sunday, May 3rd, we will resume our services at Glendive Alliance Church with some new precautions in place to keep doing our part to help keep people healthy and also to communicate to our community that we respect the recommended guidelines concerning in-person gatherings. We will be having two services at 9 and 11 o'clock. We will be setting up about half the number of chairs that we usually have and spacing them out as best as we can to accommodate both family groups and individuals. Now, to ensure that we have enough seating at both services, we would like to ask those of you who have a last name that begins with A through M to attend the 9 o'clock service, and for those of you with a last name that begins with N through Z to attend the 11 o'clock service. Now, yes, this is strange, and believe me, no, we don't particularly like the idea, but what we're trying to do here, I hope you understand, is we're trying to do our best to meet with limitations in place. Now, listen, if for some reason you can't make it to your assigned service and you want to attend the other one, that's fine. We're not going to be at the door checking IDs and shooing you away if you're at the wrong service. Look, we're just trying to figure out the best way to do this, and frankly, it's not particularly easy. If we find that two services with limited seating are unable to accommodate everyone, then we will add a third service. We will probably stumble a little bit along the way here at the beginning, but we will find a way to make this work. All right. Now, during services, we will not be offering Click, our Sunday morning children's ministry, but we will make some coloring pages and crayons available for children during the service. So please, as a parent, do your part to ensure that your children have things that they need to keep them busy, or even better, engaged in the service. Now, we will have the nursery open, but we will not be providing nursery attendance. So if you have little children, young nursery-age children who need the nursery, you, as a parent, may go in the nursery with your children. Now, once again, we ask that you would come prepared with the appropriate toys and books and so on for your children, because we're going to clear basically everything out of the nursery to make sure that everything is clean. We will also be asking you to limit the nursery occupancy to probably 2 families at a time, 4 to 6 people, something like that. If more space is needed, please feel free to relocate with your child to one of the empty classrooms down in the church basement. Now, in between services, we will be doing our best to disinfect all of the high touch point areas, doors, doorknobs, door frames, perhaps, light switches, countertops in the bathrooms, sinks, toilets, and our chairs, all that sort of stuff. So what we would like to ask you is that following the service, you make your way out of the building expeditiously. That means, quickly and in an organized fashion. Or you could stick around and help us clean. We will not have a fellowship time in between our services, and no coffee or donuts will be served during this first phase here. We will also not be having any small groups or Sunday school classes meeting in between or before or after services. So if you desire to visit with friends before or after the services, we just kindly ask you to do so outside of the building rather than in the lobby or rather than in the sanctuary or the hallways. Now, on Sunday morning, in case you're wondering, our offering will be received by using drop boxes that we will have placed in the back of the sanctuary rather than by passing the plates around. Now, keep in mind that if you're uncomfortable doing that, you can still also continue to give through mail, through our website, or through our Glendive Alliance Church app on smartphones and tablets. Let me just say at this point, thank you for your faithfulness in giving during these times. There's a lot of uncertainty in employment for a lot of people, and I know that, but I want to thank you for continuing to be faithful as often as you can. Also, maybe of note here is that we will not be celebrating communion together until some of these restrictions have been lifted and we feel like we can do so. We will be placing hand sanitizers throughout the building, outside bathrooms, near exits, and in a few other strategic places. And frankly, these will probably stay here into the foreseeable future. We would respectfully request that for the time being, that you avoid handshakes and hugs, and instead just give friendly waves and head nods, or what's up head nods. Now, if you're inclined to do so, you are welcome to wear a face mask and gloves. And of course, if you are feeling sick, please stay home. And by the way, that request is applicable year-round, not just now. I should also note here that even though it's not regarding Sunday services per se, that all our other church activities and events and gatherings remain canceled until we are able to move into the second phase of reopening things, and until we can adjust to a moderate distancing and more interpersonal interaction, and really get back into the habit of sharing space instead of protecting it. So until then, we ask that you would just patiently and prayerfully wait until we feel we have the discretion and until it is wise, we believe, to do so. Now, before I conclude, I'd have a couple of important requests for you, so please hang in there for just a couple more minutes here. First of all, in order to provide sanitizer stations throughout the church, we need sanitizer. And as you probably know, that is really difficult to come by right now. We've looked everywhere and can't find any. So, if you, in your wisdom, your foresight, were able to pick up some extra hand sanitizer to prepare ahead of time for this time we're going through, if you have some pump bottles of hand sanitizer and have an extra one that you could spare until we are able to purchase some more, we would be very, very grateful. We're probably going to need at least 8 bottles by this Sunday. Any size will do, honestly. If you have an extra one that you can give us, please drop it by the church. We will put it to use, I promise. Also, if you have an extra can of Lysol spray, the aerosol kind, would you please consider donating that to the church? See, we will be using this to disinfect the padded chairs in the sanctuary in between services. The aerosol dries a lot faster. We have a couple of cans here now. We're kind of scrambling to find some more, trying to order some. It's been very difficult. We're not having much luck so far. So if you have an extra one to give to us, could you please drop that by the church? Also, we could really use your help here. Also, another thing, in order to ensure that our facility is properly disinfected in between the services, we're going to need some help with that. Our custodian, Mandy, who does a great job, will of course be working to get this done, but that's really too big a task for one person in about a half-hour time span. So each week we could really use at least 3 or 4 volunteers for about a half an hour to help us do the cleaning. So if you are willing and you are able to volunteer for this, please call the church and let us know. I think that about covers the basics for now. Listen, we do not have this all figured out, and just like every plan, there will be things that we haven't foreseen that will affect this plan, but we really are trying our best here to get back on our feet and get back together in a responsible way. So thank you, church family, for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. And thank you for doing your part to help us get back up and running. We have missed you. We thank you for continuing to pray for us as we do our best to lead the church through these challenging times. We are really looking forward to seeing you guys again this Sunday. We love you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.